Greetings and salutations. Just letting folks get in for a few minutes as we get ready for day 2 of the Find the Love for Your Life Challenge. Woo! This has been a really interesting couple of days already. It seems like um, every step there was some type of obstacle or something. But when you persevere, you do what you have to do. And that is what we're doing right now. We're doing what we have to do. Day 2 of the Find the Love for Your Life Challenge will be underway in a few moments. Right now, enjoy this lovely, lovely inspirational music by Ben Sounds. And I don't think I will get in trouble this time. So let me check to make sure it is on Facebook. It is, it is. All right. A little bit of a loose nose right there. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good afternoon, depending on where you are. So today is day 2 of the Find the Love for Your Life Challenge. And today, the step for today is define and believe. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you finally say, this is what I must have in a relationship. These are things I'm not going to compromise on, and this is what it is. It was interesting as I was getting things prepared and making sure, triple checking that everything was working this time. So I just had to get Zoom because it still didn't go in correctly. I was watching a meme, and it was dating in 2022, and it was very cut and dry, like, this is what it is. And then the deal breaker was he wanted December in Hawaii, and she wanted June in the vineyard. And he said, okay, I'll take June, but it has to be Hawaii. And she was like, no. And he said, is that a deal breaker? She said, yes. And then it is so hilarious. It is so hilarious because some of the little things like that are stopping relationships. I just watched several different ones and people's interpretation of it. It was really funny and interesting. But today we're going to look at the things you value in relationships and how you define what you're looking for in a relationship, because that is really important. What has happened is people have said, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, but accepted everything except those things that they said they wanted. Why would you do that? If these are things that you have to have in the relationship, and that person comes and they don't have it, and I don't care how good that outer package is, if they don't have those things that you need, that you're requiring, that is the absolute must, you have to let it go. Because what's going to happen, they're not going to have things that you really want. So you're putting a lot of emphasis on things that you don't want. And as time goes by, those things are going to start bothering you. And the things that you really want and need in a relationship, you're not getting. So now you're feeling incomplete. And you're going to take all that, and then you're going to, oh my goodness, I don't understand why our relationship is not working, because you are not getting what you want and need for this relationship to be a success. You're going to define some things. You're going to look at, seriously, if you're ready, because this is the most important thing, that you have to be ready. If you are not ready to find the love for your life right now, or be found by the love for your life right now, everything's going to go down here from here, and it's going to be terrible. What you have to do is you have to make a decision. And if you're not ready right now, if you want to still hang out and do things and just, I'm just like, I'm not ready to make that kind of a commitment, That's fine. This is your life. No one is rushing you. You are rushing you. Or you are saying, you know what, I'm not ready. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to chill out, be on the low. But you have to make that decision that you want to wait. Okay? Some things popped up on my screen. So, day one was forgive and heal. That was a very hard situation about forgiving and healing. But day two takes that to a whole different level because it's define and believe. One of the things I've heard women say is that they don't believe that there's anybody out there for them. They're going to die alone. All the good ones are taken. That's only because you're focusing on the ones that you cannot have, do not want. When you start focusing on what you want and what you need to have in a relationship, then you will see that there are plenty of good men out there waiting, looking for a good woman such as yourself. And there are plenty of men, women that are ready to give you what you want. And they're looking for some of the same things that you're looking for. First thing you have to do is make a decision that you are going to define what you want. And when I say define, it is really laying out for the 6 steps. But before we get started, let's see if you're ready. We're going to take a quick quiz on if you're ready. So we're going to look at the agenda. I'm going to share my screen. Today it's Wednesday. We're going to define and believe. We have the motivation quiz to see what you're motivated by, and we'll look at the personal values homework. For this motivational quiz, get out a piece of paper, you just 5 quick questions, and we're just going to see how motivated and driven you are to do this quiz. To do this quiz, to find the love for your life. Okay, just really simple. Think about the challenge and the answers that are the closest to how you feel in life right now. Don't think about, well, after this week, I think I'm gonna feel like this, or next week I'm gonna feel like this. After this, it's over. No, right now. The first question is, can you visualize or imagine the benefits of finding the love for your life? What you're gonna do is you're gonna select A, B, or C. I'll give you a few minutes while I eat a piece of fruit. I should have had the Jeopardy countdown. Did I take put this there? Oh. Okay. How prepared are you to make changes to your life to be found by the love for your life? And I just realized I had the same answers from the previous one. A, B, or C. Oops. How passionate are you about having the love for your life? How passionate are you about finding that? How much effort are you going to put into that? How much support would you like with the planning and execution of finding the love for your life? How much help do you need? Do you persevere? How much willpower do you have in order for you to find the love for your life? Now, take add up all the A's that you have, all the B's, all the C's. And if you have mostly A's, you're the big leap. You are well motivated, organized, determined, and keen to make changes. You know what you need to do. You're going forward with it. You have made the decision, and you said, you know what, I'm ready for the love for my life, and you're going to do whatever it takes to get there. The pro, you will achieve this goal one way or another. And if there does, and if you don't, there's always a good reason for you why you didn't do it. Like, you know, life got in the way, you you have to slow down or something to that effect. You may be so focused on achieving this goal that you forget to celebrate. Like, it becomes just an acquisition. So it's like, okay, found the love of my life, check. Enjoy the journey or let other things in your life slip. I'm gonna read that sentence again. You may be so focused on achieving your goals that you forget to celebrate, enjoy the journey, or let other things in your life slip. Okay? Also, goals are sometimes easier to achieve when you slow down, letting things flow rather than pushing. And that could be the biggest issue because you're so far like I gotta have enough for my life, and then you just chugging straight ahead, and you kind of missing the point of finding someone that's for your life and not just for the moment, and then it could easily slip into being for the moment as opposed to for your life. Okay, so that's if you have mostly A's. If you have mostly B's, you're the middle way. When a goal is big and important enough, you take action. But like most people, you occasionally struggle to stay focused and motivated. So you like, okay, I have this goal and this is what I'm going to do, and then something happens, and then that goal starts falling back down the side. You have a full life and probably know what works for you, but are you set in your ways? Are you? Are you set in your ways? Your motivation may vary as you're unsure how change would fit into your life. This means that sometimes you let life live you rather than you actively creating the life you want. One of the biggest things is like this making this change is going to cause a change in my life. I'm gonna have to, share my life. I'm gonna have to, it's not going to always be about me. There's going to be another person that's going to be involved. Am I ready for that? Do I want to do that? What is going to happen if it doesn't go well? That's what happens when you're in the middle of the way. You want it, but you kind of want it, but you kind of don't. But at the same time, you're open and you're trying to explore the different areas. The pros for you is life is predictable and safe. Even if you're busy, you know what to do. You wake up. This is your schedule. This is your routine. No one is interrupting. And what happens is when you have multiple people, multiple people, when you have someone else in your life who also has an agenda and things that they want to do, and you both are trying to come together and create this, things can go a little different until you can get into a rhythm and a routine. And depending on how life goes with you, that could also change. So you can say, "Oh, well, we're not going to have kids," and then you know you don't have a kid, but you get custody of a family member or something to that effect. The con is it's easy to get nice and settled in your comfort zone, but we also take longer to achieve our goals because we don't have the where's my mouse? Because we don't have the motivation, clarity, energy, and or support we need to go the extra mile. So if you have mostly B's, you want to do it, you kind of like but at the same time you're really in your comfort zone. You really like kind of like being by myself. I mean, it's not ideal, but I don't have to be bothered with anybody. Or I don't have to change my schedule. I don't have to worry about now you just on the even scale. It's like you want someone, but you just rock it back and forth. You'll have to make a decision because you can't be in the middle of the road. If you have mostly C's, small steps. Perhaps you're too busy. Perhaps you're happy with your life and your goals are simply a fine tuning exercise. Like you're really focused on just I'm just single and I'm just cool with that. Maybe you just got out of a divorce or a long term relationship and you compromise yourself and you're saying like I don't want to do that again. I really need to take some time to find myself. Then that's fine because that means you're not ready for this phase. Maybe you can't see the benefits of your goals enough, which is finding love for your life. Maybe your life is simply too busy and overwhelming, or maybe you've been going after the wrong goals. That's a possibility. The pros for this is if you only want your life to be a little different, small steps are the perfect way. So when I say that, to be a little different means, okay, I'm not ready to fully commit. But what I am going to do is I'm going to start defining what I really want in the relationship. I'm going to be proactive and very intentional of who I dated because I want to see, is that really what I want in my life? Is that really where I think my life should be going right now as far as dating someone? And then not just dating, but dating to mate or marriage or whatever your situation is that you're looking for. And that is perfectly fine. Because in that way, when you are finally ready, you already have a list of things that worked and what didn't work, especially if you didn't really know what you were going to do. I do kind of like this guy. He has XYZ. Well, what about MNOP? You're like, huh, that's kind of interesting too. I might need that too. This is an opportunity for you to really start looking at qualities and values and things in the other person that you may or may not need, may or may not know that you have. I gotta get some water. It's a lot of talking. The con is smaller steps obviously mean a goal takes longer to complete. Sometimes we lose momentum or motivation because progress is so slow, and it is unlikely you'll see big changes without putting more effort. But that's only if you still don't know what you want. But if you really just out looking and trying to make the decision before you fully commit, let it take for a while. That's great. The only thing I will say is don't get caught up in the trying to find that you get overwhelmed, that you put too many choices in your basket, and then now you're like, I don't know, because it can become overwhelming. So if you're going to make the decision to take small steps, take small steps and small batches, so that way you're not overwhelming yourself with all the stuff that you are trying to do. Oops, go back. Let's go. So now that you're understanding and you're trying to define and you're looking at the different things that you want, these are the areas that you're going to be looking at. And let me put this back. I'll put it back on that one. The areas that you're going to be looking at: mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, and sexually. Yesterday we talked about having sexual out of place. And when I say out of place is you're not sure who this person is. You met, you had a couple of conversations, you like the conversations, and bam, you're naked. And then you're like, oh, I kind of want to get to know this person more, but you really don't know this person. And now that your mind has been flooded with hormones and pheromones or whatever is excreted during sex and intimacy, everything is colored by that. And sometimes you think, oh well, man, that was amazing. I can't. Oh, I want that all the time. Or oh, I don't never want that again. When you put that first, you don't give yourself an opportunity to really know who that person is. Now, if you're just out here getting it in for yourself, that's fine. That is fine. That is not, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. However, if you are trying to find a serious relationship for your life, you are going to really have to put that off to for as long as you can. And I don't mean 3 days. Okay. So like, well, that's the longest I can go. if you're really looking for the one that is for your life, you have to make sure that all this other stuff is there. Because so many people have been like, oh, well, I want to be in a relationship. And then they get with someone and they're just like, that's how you spend money? You're not saving? Where's your savings? Oh, goodness. What? When was the last time you went to the doctor? How are you not taking care of yourself? This is insane. This is insane. That's what happens when you don't take the time to really find out about the person. And no, it's not like, okay, here's the quiz sheet. Do you have this? Do you have this? It's not that. It's just through conversations, directed, pointed conversations. And then just saying, just after you're interacting with each other, just like, is this something or someone that I want to continue forward with? If it is, great. If it's not, excuse me. If it's not, that's fine as well. Don't try to make someone that is not for you, okay? Because it is not going to go well. You're trying to make them fit in your box, and you haven't fully defined that box, so then it's not set. And it's fine to say, oh, don't put people in the boxes. Yeah, that's understandable. However, you know what you want and you know what you need for your life. Let's talk about mental. If that person has some type of mental issues or things that they're dealing with mentally, that is going to require attention. That's going to require assistance and things of that nature. And what things are they dealing with? How is their mental health? You know, do they have some amazing highs and then crash? Have they thought about suicide? Have they is it one of those things? Everybody is against me, even you against me, and you just like I just met you 2 days ago. I'm sorry, what is happening? So you have to watch for the signs. You have to look at what is happening and look and see what you're doing with this person. Because I give me a second. I can remember when it was just like it was like, oh girl, he jealous. He be okay, yeah. So that jealousy can quickly turn to abuse because he's thinking like, oh, somebody's looking at you, somebody's talking to you, somebody. I remember a situation with a relative. She just met this guy, and we were out. I would go to town. We would go out, and then she introduced me, and I was just like, okay. From the gate, I knew something was off with this dude. I'm like, I don't like it. But I learned not to say anything, to hold my tongue. And so just saying, if she sees anything, maybe it's just me because it's not my cup of tea. I don't have to wake up next to it. But he followed her into the bathroom and got put out the club because like, why are you in the bathroom with the women? Why are you in the women's bathroom? Because he was just like, I don't want nobody to mess with you. I'm in the women's bathroom. So, in the beginning, oh girl, that's cute. Then it was that dude crazy. See how quickly you can have a shift like that? First it was like, oh, it's so he cute and everything. He be, checking, making sure I'm doing everything and nobody's bothering me. And then all of a sudden, that very same comic girl, he's checking everything. I mean everything. Making sure I'm not sneaking off. See how quickly that can turn? So you definitely want to make sure you have a solid conversation about what you want mentally in a person. And then, where are you mentally? Now, are you the crazy one? I know. You didn't think you wasn't about to think that was coming for you, did you? You didn't think I was coming for you. Are you jealous and possessive? And you have some extremely high highs and some very deep grade lows, and you're not getting yourself together. Take a moment. What do you need to do in order to get yourself together? Because here's the reality. What you are looking for in him, he is also looking for in you. He is also looking for that exact same thing in you. So don't think like, oh, well, I'm just doing the looking. No, he's doing the looking too. You both are looking at the same time. All right. Emotionally, that goes, because that mental and emotional, they go back and back, back and back and they go hand in hand. There you go. They go hand in hand because sometimes the mental and emotional are very uh, tied in together, and you don't want that. Um, you don't want that to be. Oh my goodness. So like, okay, let's say some stuff the mental is together, and then you're like, oh, he is so emotionally unavailable. If you are an emotional and like, oh, I like feelings and emotions and cuddling, and that person is not that, oh honey, it's not going to go well. He, Either they are and you're okay with it, they aren't but they're willing to learn, or they aren't and then that's just how they are, and they'll constantly tell you, this is who I am, live with it. Please forgive me. I'm in a whole environment and this is drying my sinuses out. So yes, now it's like he's emotionally unavailable. Yes, yes, he is. But you made a decision like, oh, this is okay. I can deal with this. It's cool. But how long is it going to be cool for? How long are you going to be able to put up with someone that is emotionally unavailable? How long? Especially if you are a touchy, feely, emotional, loving, cuddling kind of person. Especially if you are a person that when something is bothering them, you want to talk, and that other person doesn't. You want communication. You want to be able to express yourself and feel like by you expressing yourself is going to be okay, and that other person is going to be like, okay, well, we can talk about it. Okay, so what do you want emotionally, and who are you emotionally? Are you a loving, touchy, cuddly, emotionally stable person? Or are you emotionally unavailable? Are you someone that when you are upset or distraught, you just, I need to be totally by myself, and you shut everybody out and you do your thing? How does that work when you have a partner? Has anyone ever told you that that's what you do? And instead of you saying, well, yeah, let me, try to see why I do that, you're just like, whatever, that's who I am, and you just have to deal with it. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. So whatever, and I'm hoping you're seeing that whatever you want in him, you also have to be trying to work out in yourself as well. Okay. Spiritually, where are you spiritually? What do you see yourself doing in your spiritual life? How are you worshiping who you worship? Are you devout? Are you lukewarm? Are you a Christmas and Easter passenger? Who are you in your spiritual journey, in your spiritual walk? And what are you expecting of him? I know that I like being involved and active in my church. I really like that because it is, to me, it is a way of giving back and serving. And I would like to use the skills that I was blessed with in a capacity that I know that is going to be beneficial not just to me but to the people that I'm serving. And as the Lord blesses me with those skills and that skill set and mindset, that I can do that. And being involved is that is integral to me. Are you dating someone who has absolutely no spiritual, relational situation with a higher power. Definitely yours. It's not some, what other religion or denomination is that going to work? What is the deal breaker? Where do you draw the line for that? If you know that going to church is an integral part of your life, how are you going to be someone who could identify a church building and it was the only picture on the page? I'm just asking. These are questions. I'm just asking all these questions. So make sure you don't, do what has happened many, many, many times before. Women in the church. Oh, there are not a lot of men in the church. So what they do is they go out and they find someone, and then they try to drag them into the church. Well, what they forget is that while you're trying to drag him in, he's dragging you out. And the stronger one usually wins. And that's when you wake up years later and realize, I haven't been to church and I don't know how long. That's how that happens. That's how that takes you from one point to the next. You have to have an understanding of, okay, I need to be where I need to be. I need to be in a relationship with someone who shares my spiritual beliefs. Okay? And I just keep feeling like something is on my face. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Physically. Your physical body is all you have. This is it. There's not much. I mean, you can't get another one. You can replace some parts here and there, but they can't do a whole body swap. Pardon my drinking. So this is it. So how you take care of your body is really integral in what you're doing with the rest of your life. Because if you don't take care of your physical body and it breaks down, how are you going to be able to be with another person? I mean, some people, you might match with somebody to understand that there are going to be times when you just, I'm run out, I'm worn out, oh, I can't make it. And then times when you're like, yay, let's go, let's go, let's go. And as you are working on both physical aspects of your body, from like taking care of yourself, eating right, healthy, but also the internal workings, making sure everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing. You have to ask yourself, do you want someone to come into a relationship and after a short period of time they may end up having to take care of you because you didn't take care of yourself? You like now you have high blood pressure. And I don't mean just like the regular high blood pressure that everybody has become accustomed to, but like super high blood pressure. And you have high cholesterol and you have diabetes and all those things affect you physically. Those things have a physical impact on your life. So what you need to ask yourself is, where am I physically? Where am I health wise? Am I involved in some type of physical activity? Am I involved in some type of program to help me be better, to be more healthy? Am I working out? Am I doing, what are you doing? What are you doing? And this is a great opportunity for you to say, yeah, I need to get that together. Because I know what I want and do not want. And in order for me to do that, that means I got to get back to the gym. But I've been, traveling. So, oh, you can see me. That I have been traveling and, missing some things here and there. But I know that the ultimate goal is to get in. And it's not necessarily about losing weight, it's about strengthening my muscles. Because as you get older, you lose muscle tone, especially if you're not doing some of the things you need to do, especially if you're not eating properly, you're not getting enough protein, enough vitamins, and things of that nature. You're losing. Before I would never have thought, oh, I don't need a vitamin. Now it's like I need a vitamin because some of the different things that I'm eating doesn't have a lot of vitamins in them. Because, or they may have been drained or cooked or steamed away. So definitely, when you're thinking about the physical for him, what about the physical for you? What are you doing that is going to get you to where you need to be physically, financially? Financially is always going to be an issue, especially if you grew up in a situation to where money was an issue. You never felt like you had enough. And then as you continue with that mindset, you grew into an adult with that mindset that there's never enough money. Because then, no matter how much money you have, there's never enough money. There's never enough to get you to whatever it is you want, to take you wherever you need to go, whatever. There's never enough money. And when you take that mindset into a relationship, then and that person, let's say you have this, oh, there's never enough money, and this person was like, man, we have money all over the place. Now you're going to clash because you don't you no matter what you see in your bank account, you still don't see it as enough. But you have not defined what enough is because you're still traumatized by being a child with not enough money. How many people have heard I think it was Eddie Murphy. Yeah, definitely was Eddie Murphy. It's like, oh, can we go to McDonald's? We ain't got no McDonald's money. Mama will make your hamburger better than McDonald's. Better than McDonald's. Those things may not seem traumatizing to an adult, but depending on how kids are interactive in their community, how other kids perceive that, and how other kids are doing, and they think like, oh man, we're poor. I didn't realize we were as low income as we were until I was much older. And then the realization was it's like, we were poor. Because if everyone around you is like you don't realize that you're in a different situation until you leave that situation. And then you take that mindset on the road and you're like, huh, everybody here is doing something different. I must investigate. And then you go and you see that money is handled and treated in a different way than the way you grew up. Now you're like, I have to make some changes. And then that's when you start if there's never enough money, there's never enough money. Then you've always had that feeling, but you just you hadn't vocalized it. So now you're vocalizing it because you're seeing different things around you, and you're like, there's never enough money. Ooh, my nose is running. Please, 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 pardon me. This weather out here has dried me out, and then now my sinuses are acting a fool. So I sound a little nasally. Money will make you do some strange things. Was it some more? She says, I make you holler for $1, do something strange for some change. Especially if you grew up feeling as though you didn't have enough money. I can recall wanting some things, not even understanding money. Oh, I want this. And I'm looking, I don't know that that's the price. And this price was ridiculous. And I'm just like, I don't know why my mom won't give me this. This is crazy. This is what I want. Well, it was ridiculous. It was like thousands of dollars. It was like thousands of dollars. Give me a second. I'm going to turn off my camera. Whew. Please forgive me. Okay. So I grew up with an issue about money. Like, they'll never buy me stuff. This is what I want. Well, not realizing that at some point, I was my mom did didn't have that that great of employment. I know I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I thought about it as soon as I blew my nose, like, I should have turned off the volume. But my mom did have different employment, so I'm looking like, why can't I afford this? Why can't we afford this? And then took that mindset into becoming an adult, and then became homeless because I did not understand that the money that you get was to pay the bills that you have. I didn't understand that because it was not taught to me. Bills were just paid, and no one really talked about it. Okay, as I got older, took some different classes, got involved with some programs. Then I understood, like, oh, I need money to pay bills in order to live. Once I got that equation together, I was like, okay, so just like with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the base needs, which are the most, food, clothing, shelter, got to get that taken care of. Now that I'm older, I'm not there anymore. It's not just about food, clothing, shelter. It's a little higher because now I'm trying to get to self-actualization. So now I'm trying to be the best in my field. I'm trying, and then you get there, you don't stay there. You keep, because it changes over time. When you understand where you are financially and you meet someone who doesn't, there are going to be some problems because you've taken this time to really understand yourself financially. I didn't even know what a credit report was growing up, and once I started figuring it out, I was just like, when did I have? You know how they put people put kids' name and stuff. Understand, at one point I had a house, but then they had combined my credit report. But understanding that in order for me to fully get and be the person that I need to be, I needed to understand finances. And finances was a bear because however much income you made, that's how much you got. So if you had one job working at McDonald's, that's all the money you had. And if that was your aspiration, then that's it. That was it for you. But if your aspiration was, you know what, I want to do more, I want to be more. I spoke into my life that I will be a homeowner, that I will graduate from college. I'm a homeowner and I graduated from college. And that is what led me to continuing to speak into myself the things that I want. And I'm still speaking into myself financially that I continue to do the things I need to do financially. And financially means I need to not, I don't want, before it was just, I just want to make sure everything was paid and nothing was cut off. Now I'm at the level where it's not about things that get paid because of course they're going to get paid. I want to make sure I have a nice retirement and some money to fall back on in case of emergencies. And then from that level is my money is making money. That's the next level for me. The next area is sexual. And again, we said sexual has to go last because sexual instances and occurrences, especially if you like, I really want to like, I really like this guy, can mess up the whole thing because you're basing everything on the strength of his sexual prowess. And he could be long and strong, but don't have it together one bit. And you're making a decision based on a long and strong, and everything else is garbage. You have to really make a decision. I know, it's confession time. Let me get some water. I have made some dating decisions based on the long and strong. Uh, some great guys. But I'm just like, yeah, you're not doing it for me sexually. And that's because I put sexual out of order. And when I saw them later, great situations, wives, kids, great. I'm just like, One is understanding that I wasn't in the same mind space that I am today, and two, I put because I put out the order. I didn't really get to know who he was. I didn't get to know him as the person that he was aspiring to be and working towards. And so, like, based on this 30, 40 minutes of, you know, rooting around in the bed, and then next, like, he's all right, but, I don't think it's going to it's going to go anywhere. And it didn't. But with the person that he did end up with, extremely happy. That's what they're doing. So when you really, really want to be involved with someone, please do not listen to someone telling you, like, you got to try it first. You got to try it first. If you are a Christian and you are believing in Christ and you believe that the Lord called you to marriage, you have to believe that he called you to marry the person that is going to take care of you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, and sexually. If you don't believe that, then you throwing everything out the window, because he has to be able to satisfy you, or else you've already been intimate with somebody. If you're not a virgin, and especially if you have children, so that means your body is craving that skin hunger. That body is craving that touch. So you go and, like, okay, this the one. We together. We hit the all five areas now. We waiting. Wedding night. We about to get it in. Well, you got a couple of times before you can really find your groove. A couple of years later, you are so unsatisfied. You're like, but I thought God said this. You have to see, what are you doing? Are you saying, hey, this is what I need. This is what, because he definitely gonna tell you what he need. So why you not telling him what you need? The sexual part coming last is like really just like the wrapping. It just wraps everything up. Because then if you're satisfied there and every other area is satisfied, you don't have to worry about straying. You don't have to worry about taking this conversation out to the streets to other people that have absolutely no investment in your relationship. And because you're telling everything to them, that person will be what you need. You can talk to them. You can carry on conversations, be goofy with them, because everything is there. Everything is in there. I, as I was preparing and going through, different stories crossed my mind, and I would just chuckle, and I was just like, wow, that was so crazy. And they all stemmed around sexual, because I did not think that I'm like, I can't, I'm gonna have to, and I did, and I was just like, ooh, I wish I could go back and undo that. Well, you can't. I definitely couldn't. And once I tried to go back and think, like, well, maybe we can work it out or something, because I was tainted. And the good thing about it was, it was a wake up call for me. And it was like, so is this what you want to do? You want to keep doing this, waking up and looking at the person like, ew. Like, and please don't act like you've never had one of those moments. Don't, be real. You're looking over like, yeah, that the whole Coyote Ugly situation, that you would chew your own arm off to slide out so they wouldn't recognize you. Yeah, and that is one of the things that people, especially women, like, you have to know that that is going to come back and haunt you at some point. If not, like, oh, you're going to be out with your husband, like, oh, I had sex with her, but that those feelings are going to be there and they're going to resurface, especially if you thought that part was great or that part was terrible. Then you start, comparing. But what you have to do is understand that when you get the first five, and it's, you working it out and moving it, so that when you get to six, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So the 5 areas. Definitely have to look into, the first 5, the order is up to you, but the sixth one has to be sexually last. Okay. Going back to second one. All right. So in the guides, I am going to put a this worksheet so that you can talk about what you love about the person mentally, what you like, what you would love about a person mentally, what you would love about them, what you would like about them, things that you tolerate mentally, and things that you dislike or hate. And the hate is strong. So really on the dislike, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, in the guide. And you're going to talk about that because those are the things that are really helping you to define the values that you have. And if you value these things, look at what you've put down and why those things are the way they are. Okay. And once you start going through, just circle some things that you notice that has been plaguing you throughout your dating experience. Because as you start looking and realizing, why do I keep picking this type of man who I know is not emotionally available to me? Why do I keep going over here and doing this with this person who I know is not mentally ready for this type of situation? Why I keep dating broke people? And why I keep dating people that I always have to pay for stuff? Why is this person, they always in the gym, but that's all they got? However you want to break it down, definitely do that. When you get to that point where you're really able to define that, because this is part of a bigger piece, and I just want you to do this piece first. But the bigger piece is, what do I really want in him? And what do I really want in me? When I started this journey and I wrote down everything, I mean pages, page after page of each heading, and then I wrote until I couldn't write anymore. And I set it down and I went back and I looked at it, and everything I wrote, I had to check, do I have that? Am I getting myself together financially? Am I getting myself physically, emotionally, spiritually? Whatever I was missing, I had to go and make sure I was doing that for myself, and not asking for something that I was not getting or willing to give in return. This is going to help you start on that journey. So this guy will go in, as well as when you're defining what you value in a relationship, and there'll be a value sheet as well. What you value in a relationship and why it is important to you, because you may value some things and you're like, well, that's not necessary for a relationship for me. Make that decision. The other thing is, as you're moving through and making the decision, you're really saying, I'm ready, I'm kind of ready, or I'm not ready. And wherever you are, that's where you are. And that is a great thing. Okay? That's your assignment should you choose to accept it. Let me stop sharing this screen and share this screen. Uh, Now I gotta find it. It just suddenly disappeared. Oh, there it is. Your assignment, should you choose to accept it, is do the identify your personal values relationship will be in the guides at following this Facebook Live. So go there, download it, look it over and really ask yourself, are you ready? Are you willing to do what you need to do for to get your life and get yourself together to find the love for your life? It's as simple as that, because nothing can go forward unless you're ready. Because if you try to go forward and you're not ready, one is going to fall out, it's not going to go well, and then you're going to be mad, and then you're going to be like, well, she told me. Nope. First question is, are you ready? Are you ready? If you are not ready, that is perfectly fine. Come back when you are ready. And you know when you're ready, when you're tired of, why am I always getting invited to these weddings and I got to sit at the table with people that's not with anybody? Why do I keep seeing all this stuff? Because then, like, if you are not ready and you're focusing, all you'll see is couples and couples and couples and weddings and weddings and weddings, because something is trying to tell you that that's what you want, but you haven't come to terms with that. So do the assignment in the guides, and we'll talk about it again tomorrow. Hey, this has been an awesome day. Awesome day. I'm just definitely gonna steam my face up, and I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow on our last and final day. You have a blessed and amazing day. Hey, hey. And this will be available for replay in the Facebook group. Thanks.